Hi VIP Kid teacher friends. My name is Teacher Laura. I wanted to do a video to ask you a question about VIP Kid and minimalism. So I've been kind of fascinated lately by minimalists. I don't think I can consider myself a minimalist yet, but I'm kind of curious about the idea of living with less. It's wrapped into this whole idea of really only keeping what you love, having a tidy living space, being generous. It's kind of all wrapped together. My thoughts and my lifestyle, I think, is slowly shifting. And as it relates to VIP Kid, my life has definitely changed. So with minimalism, when you think of VIP Kid teachers, I think the last thing you think of is minimalist, because you watch the YouTube videos and they are tons and tons of props and rewards, and they have a million props all within arm's reach in bins and drawers and hanging things and magnet boards, and this has never really been my style from the beginning. I definitely use props, and I definitely feel like they're needed for especially the lower levels. I love using props, so I'm not ready to completely cut them out, but I really decided that I was just getting too much clutter, and there were a few reasons I started to think about how minimalism and VIP Kid teaching can go together. The first one is efficiency. Let's be honest, we are independent contractors, we are not salaried. So you get paid per class, you are your own boss, and you need to be wise about how much time you're spending. So being very efficient and keeping things as minimal as possible really affects your bottom line. If you're buying props continually, if you're buying reward systems, if you're buying gadgets, if you're doing all sorts of things like that, you're affecting your bottom line. And I wanted to just keep it simple with VIP Kid teaching. I wanted to sign in, teach my students. That's the part I love. That's what drew me to this job in the first place. And then close my laptop and not think about it for the rest of my day. Some people, that's not the life they want. Some people love connecting with parents on WeChat and creating, reward systems in their spare time and going to meetups and going to Facebook groups and all of this. And I think some of that's fun, but for me it was becoming like too big of a part of my life. It was efficient. I wanted to do minimalism just to save money, so I wasn't like spending money on props because I wanted to do this job to make money, not just spend it right away. And the third one was I want to be a little more flexible. Now, I don't travel very much with this job. The thought is I want to live kind of more simply so that I can be more portable. Recently, my in-laws visited and I taught in my bathroom on the floor, and I used like my whiteboard and one prop and for 6 classes, and I was fine. Like, it was great. And here's how I've been doing it. Step 1 is I streamlined my feedback. Now, I had like different kinds of systems, and I had lots of paper, and I had documents on my computer, and I had Post-it note apps on my computer. Oh, it was kind of crazy. I think every teacher goes through a process of figuring out their feedback system. For me, it was all about Feedback Panda, and I've done a few videos on that, so I won't elaborate very much, but it's all in one place, it's all easily accessible, and I don't have to put any thought into my feedback, really. I quickly do it between classes. I spend literally like a minute and a half on my feedback, and I deliver high quality feedback. Thank you to Feedback Panda. That was my first step of minimalism. My second step was I started doing only one reward per week. And I know that sounds kind of weird and kind of like impersonal. I have almost all regulars now. Some regulars I do see 2 and 3 times a week. And I still just do this and I love it, and they don't complain. So I pick one new reward per week. So I have about 6 or 7 rewards that I enjoyed using for the kids. And they're kind of gender neutral and they're kind of adaptable. I've done a few videos on this, so again, I won't elaborate, but just freeing up my mind space that, oh, I'm using the ice cream reward this week for all my students. Just have this one reward. It has been very freeing. Might be an adjustment for your students if they're used to seeing a new, different reward every time they see you, but frankly, that's kind of unsustainable. My 3 steps so far have been streamlining feedback, doing one reward per week, and number 3, I have been trying to find more multi-purpose props. So I will come downstairs and show you some of my favorite streamlined props. This is my more minimal classroom. It's not minimalist, but this is what it looks like so far. This is my table space. I love having lots of open space. I do have, a reward system happening there and some extra stuff. Here is what the students see. They see a map, me, this is a picture of my family, and then a treasure chest I use for rewards. Under my table, I used to have a huge bin full of tons of rewards and stuff. Now, this is all I have for all of my teaching stuff. I have some 3D props and stuffed animals in 2 bins, and then some play food. In the middle, I have some homemade rewards, books, reward systems, and then my laminator over in the corner. To me, that's important. And that's all I have. And it really has made me feel more free just to have more clean space. And I've really pared down my props. Thing I found that I like a lot, this is a bunch of little pictures. It's alphabet cards. And then pictures. So because I have these, I don't need to have another dog. I use the elephant all the time, and I use the turtle. I don't have to have a ton of 3D props because I use that quite often. I use my whiteboard, of course. I feel like a whiteboard is the ultimate 3D minimalist prop. Play food. That is a fun one. I feel like that's really one that's worth it. I think the point of the props is really to engage the students, and it doesn't take much, even for your regulars. So be really honest with yourself about what you're using. If you haven't used it within the last couple weeks or months, get rid of it. I'd rather have everything in my prop selection here that I actually enjoy using and that I reach for. So those are my thoughts about Vipkid and minimalism. I think it can be done. It's kind of countercultural in Vipkid world, but especially if you're considering traveling and being a Vipkid teacher, or if you have a very small space to work with, or if you just need less clutter, then do it. It's so worth it. You just, to have peace of mind, to have a clear mind, it makes you a better teacher, it makes you more focused. You can really focus more on the student than on all the stuff. Alright, those are my thoughts. Tell me in the comments what you think about Vipkid and minimalism. If this is something you're interested in, or if you are the opposite of a Vipkid minimalist. I'm sure there's some of those out there too. Alright, goodbye. Happy teaching.